Is that what drives you or motivates you to be so involved with clinical research? Because here we're involved in at any given time 10 to 15
Right.
clinical trials, whether that's FDA clinical trials, IITs, our own
Yeah.
sort of internal things we're working on.
Yeah, exactly. I think being involved in those efforts is, definitely an energy gainer. And I think we're constantly, I think in ophthalmology, we're looking at more or less two or three things. We're looking at safety, more or less eliminating adverse events, looking at efficacy, just sort of attaining better vision, or looking at function, sort of obtaining a broader depth of vision, and constantly dialing those three things: safety, efficacy, and increased function. And if you look at all the technology that we've been involved with, either multifocal lenses or accommodating lenses or femtosecond lasers or intraoperative aberrometry or smile or whatever it might be, all those technologies are constantly pushing the limits on those three fronts.
The more
Yeah.
the more we talk, the more I'm amazed at what you've been able to juggle and navigate and balance throughout your career. There's the OR aspect of things, surgery.
Yeah.
There's the clinic aspect of things.
Yeah.
There's the customer service aspect of things. There's the business aspect of things. There's the administrative management aspect of things. And now we're getting into research. How did you go? Because we have a very robust research department
Right.
here. And how did you go about sort of what was the vision for that? How did you build that?
It started off actually quite small. It's sort of like, oh, wouldn't it be neat if we were involved with, this technology? Let's say it was intraoperative aberrometry, and more or less we bought that commercially. Said, gosh, this is great, but it needs help in these areas. So I think we should improve the nomogram for post-refractive surgery. So we were involved with their, first study using intraoperative aberrometry to study, post-refractive surgery. And then the next study was like, well, for dialing toric lenses, wouldn't it be nice if we had this kind of technology? So we're involved with the first studies that analyzed the outcomes for intraoperative aberrometry guidance for toric lenses. Now we use it routinely for that, but when it first was invented, it wasn't necessarily designed for that purpose. And so once we established a team that was interested in that, and invariably we started off with maybe a technician or two that was sort of had the same interest within our practice, like, oh yeah, it looks neat. I'll help with the data collection. I'll help, enroll those patients. Then that team went from one individual to two individuals. So now we have 3 or 4 or 5 individuals that are in that department that have that same kind of interest and working through sort of that leading edge technology opportunity, that patients are also interested in. The patients are always looking for that next new thing. And they say, oh, now there's a lens that can do this. Yeah, I'll raise my hand. I'll be involved with that. And so it seems that you find the right patients, find the right technicians, find the right team that has that same interest. There's going to be opportunity for working with industry to provide that kind of care.
Shamik brought up something that I never really thought about, and it's something that's really stuck with me because it was so powerful. What he was saying is, so he was discussing how overseas, let's say in like India, you have ophthalmologists or surgeons who have their own private practice where, it's a business. They're obviously trying to deliver great patient outcomes, but it's a business. And then maybe X amount of time when they're not doing that, they're doing charitable work, they're doing surgery for free. And what Shamik was saying is, you can do that sort of stuff here. It might be that's not necessarily the model or expectation.
Right.
If you do service or volunteer surgeons, like we've done a lot of charitable surgery over the past year with Operation Sight for the Ascaris Foundation. But he was saying he almost views being involved with research as a charitable act, because now maybe there's a patient who can't afford a multifocal lens or the latest in technology, or can't afford to have ICLs or SMILE done, but they're a great candidate for this research. Well, if they're a candidate, they can get into that.
Right.
They can have the surgery for free. And a lot of times, because our FDA is so slow, it's not like this is the Wild West and they're guinea pigs. This is technology that's been vetted overseas in other countries and hundreds or thousands of patients. So like the EVO ICL, for example, we have trials going on where patients, if they're a candidate, could be enrolled in that study. They're getting technology that's been vetted for over a decade overseas. We know it works, and we know it delivers great outcomes. And it's just, I'd never thought about that before. I never viewed research sort of from that lens, and it's really amazing.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And it is a great win for everybody, a win for the patients, win for the industry partner that's provided that lens, and then the doctors that are involved with it. And I think it is a great opportunity for those patients that want to have access to technology, and then have a company that's willing to provide it in exchange for being involved with the trial. So I totally agree with Shamik's thoughts around that.